All right. Welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how we doing?
Doing well. New year. Seeing what 2026 has.
New Year, same Bucks.
Yep, literally.
So we're just going to kind of get right into the games because we do have a kind of a special little podcast announcement to get to. So tune in for that. But first up, we're going to be the Bucks played the other night against the Memphis Grizzlies. Lost. I mean, I really shouldn't be surprised about that. Number one, Milwaukee, historically speaking, I honestly do not remember the last time they won in Memphis. Like even when they were
ninth straight loss against them.
Yeah, they have. So they lost 125 to 104. A really horrendous second quarter, 35-15. A lot of Jaren Jackson Jr. and you get John Morant, KCPs, and then Cam Spencer. Like 9 straight losses against the Grizzlies. It's a matchup issue. Like, let's just admit it. It's very much like a Milwaukee Bucks matchup issue. And, did it say? I know it's 9 straight losses. Did it say what year was the last time Milwaukee beat Memphis?
Let me take a quick peek. Bucks beat the Grizzlies. Looks. Oh gosh.
That's not good. That's not good.
The last time they beat them was January 19th, 2022.
Oh, God. Was that at home?
No, that was away. No, that was a home game.
Wow. All right. Okay. I mean, it was a bad second quarter, but like I don't know what I should have expected, to be quite honest with you, because literally the Grizzlies, even when the Grizzlies were bad, Milwaukee still had trouble beating them. Like, I'm not talking about I'm talking about like when the Grizzlies truly were having lean years, Milwaukee had issues with them. So, I guess, what did you see in Milwaukee's game against Memphis?
Again, pretty repetitive, but like no flow to it at all. Again, they had a great first quarter and a decent third quarter, and I feel like just the third quarters are either their best quarters ever or it's like just what am I watching kind of basketball. But I don't know, they started out hot and then all of a sudden the second quarter they just chose to just forget how to do everything and shit the bed. I mean, you go from 35 to then 15 and giving 35, there's just no defense. I feel like every possession, I mean, the Bucks had 11 steals, which is cool, but they gave up 12 steals. I just feel like everything is just fast break, another fast break. And it's just all like the points they're giving up are just off of stupidity plays and just not being careful with the ball. And so many points are given up when realistically it could have just been, a crappy, still a loss, but not as much. But I have to pull up my stats, 54 points to the paint to 28. It's like they're getting bodied with nobody to kind of help defend. Without Giannis, there really is no dominant paint defender. I mean, you got Miles Turner, but one person can't do it all. They gave up 26 fast break points and they lost by 21 points. So there's a huge chunk of their points right there, and fouls and just getting them to the paint because they didn't shoot as well from the 3-point line either. Just, a lot of sloppy, easy baskets that I just feel like keep adding up. And then on the other end, they can't buy a bucket to save their lives. So it's one thing doesn't help, but then they're doing something else that's just making it worse, where they could defend a little better or give up more points to the paint. But if they're not scoring, then it's just going to be a nice and fast game just because they're not going to be able to do anything to keep up with them.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the 22 turnovers as well. I I don't understand how the Bucks think that they can win a regulation basketball game with 22 turnovers like that. That doesn't help. The 20 points off turnovers through 26 fast break points, the 54 points in the paint. They had a 21-point lead at one point, and they weren't even hitting well from three. So
No.
it was just turnovers that led to easy baskets, and I mean, and look, I'm looking at this roster for the Grizzlies. This isn't like these guys are a bunch of world beaters, right? It's just like they still got Jaren Jackson and John Morant, but this isn't like the 51 Warriors from like a couple years ago. These are they had like 13 wins at the time of this game. So I'm trying to, but again, when you have all five guys scoring double figures, this is the result you're going to get. This is the result you're going to get. Okay. And when you get 20 from AJ Green and then 16 from KPJ, and then, Kuz and Bobby chipped in a little bit, but, Ryan Rollins was good. But it's just I'm trying to grasp about how we have $100 million center and he scores like 8 points.
2 and 11 shooting.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, you're not. When you turn the ball over, it really doesn't matter how much the other guys score because, they're already in a rhythm. So by that point, those are empty calorie numbers. Yeah, I mean that game was extremely disappointing, but I'm not overly surprised. Milwaukee have never been able to beat the Grizzlies as long as I've been alive for the most part. I really don't remember the last time that they've beaten Memphis on a consistent basis. Just one of those. They're just one of those opponents that no matter what, no matter how good they are, how bad they are, Milwaukee just has trouble beating them. It looks like it's a matchup issue, but you've just seen there's just been too many occasions this year where when Giannis hasn't been in the game, it's been a struggle. They've only won 3 games this year without Giannis.
Yeah, and he kind of just I didn't hear any rumors or reports of him coming back, but all of a sudden he just kind of popped right back into the lineup. But yeah, when you don't have Giannis and then your other I guess star player, Miles Turner, again, the guy who they're paying the most for is 8 points. It'd be different if he was scoring 8 points but getting 7 or 8 rebounds or shooting 4 of 7, but he's shooting just atrociously. So then when he's out there, that's really no one else that you're actually, it's more of you have him out there and he's still hovering around the 3-point line with all the other shooters. It's nudge into the paint. I don't know why he keeps just consistently shooting 3-pointers. It's kind of getting annoying where it's Brook Lopez, you knew he was going to be doing that because, again, he's not the type of rebounder. But when you got someone way younger, more athletic, and capable of getting rebounds and blocks, why are you just hovering the 3-point line? It's just break after break after break, I feel like. It's got to push him into the paint.
Yeah, and I've said, I think Miles Turner, what he needs to do is he needs to, get in the paint a little more, right? Because he can draw fouls. He's a dominant force down low. But, the problem is I just think he bails the other team out when he just shoots from the outside.
I mean, he's had plenty of posters this year. He's lengthy. He's fast. He's capable of doing it. He just doesn't. And it's so frustrating because it's, oh, no one's there. Oh, dishing out to AJ Green. Oh, here he is passing it to the corner to Miles Turner for 3, and then it's brick. It's, well, there goes that awesome possession of just getting an open shooter, and it's your center in the corner.
So, I mean, that game was disappointing. The next game was a lot more fun, although, brought its own set of controversy as the Bucks knocked off the Chicago Bulls 112-103 last Saturday. And, that game was a lot more fun to watch only because of the fact that it was Giannis' first game back and everybody just kind of clicked. Really for the most part, outside of a little Chicago run, Milwaukee was in control for most of this game. And, they were kind of able to just pull away a little bit. Kobe White had 16, Josh Giddey had 13, Isaac Okoro 10, Zach Collins at 10. But Giannis obviously having scored 29, Ryan Rollins 20, BP 17, Kuz 12. I mean, it was like till that was a good game. I think obviously the real story was what happened after, or Giannis's windmill dunk at the end of the game that angered a lot of the Chicago Bulls faithful, specifically Nikola Vucevic. A couple of words are being used there. It was called Bush League, and even Nikola Vucevic took a shot at Giannis where he said, "I think he's mad or whatever that that Chicago didn't want him," which
That's so funny.
Which I thought was hilarious because I was like, "Dude, you're Nikola Vucevic. If they wanted to trade
in the trade, buddy."
Yeah, it's like, dude, if they wanted to trade Giannis, they 1,000% would. So I guess what was your first? What did you see in this game, and then what was your reaction to the theatrics after it?
Again, the Bulls have been under 500, but I feel like they've been a pretty steady team, especially to the start of the season. It felt good that they won every quarter. Again, they won by 9, so like not too much, but holding them to 103 points, I felt like was always good to kind of hover around that late 90s, early 100 scoring. But I think the biggest thing that I saw was Bobby Portis, 17 points, 11 rebounds. Again, one of the more solidified Bobby games. I feel like he's gotten a lot better as the season's been going by. A couple offensive rebounds, a couple steals as well. But it was good to have Giannis back. I really thought that was going to light a fire under them and go on this big win streak, but obviously we know that won't happen. But no, just saw a lot of solid scoring. Nothing too crazy out of the game itself. Again, just kind of being able to hold them down every quarter. Again, it was 2 to 4 points every quarter they were winning by, but able to get past them a lot easier because, again, the Bulls are one of those teams where sometimes the Bucks struggle against, whether they have Giannis or don't have Giannis. But no, it's good to have him back, obviously, and have a very strong game. It's 25 minutes, a little bit of a minute restriction, but still being able to score almost 30 points on 10 of 15 shooting. But no, nothing too absurd kind of struck out to me as much outside of obviously Giannis and Bobby Portis' stat line. Still kind of giving up too many offensive rebounds itself, but that's just not going to change. And again, the fast break points I feel like are the thing that's killing them the most. 21 fast break points. Again, that's just such a huge chunk. That's like almost a whole scoring, a whole quarter scoring for sometimes. And just kind of giving up easier baskets like that can be a little frustrating because you could be winning by 15 to 20 points per game. Not per game, but for some of the wins you have with the amount of points you give up on fast breaks. But, it is what it is. That's just kind of something that will always be there, but just kind of being able to protect a lot more. But I don't know. Otherwise, pretty solid game. Good to have Giannis back and still have him dominate and not lose by 15 to 20 points just because he's back and he's putting it all on his back again.
Yeah, I mean, and again, everybody was saying like, "Oh my God, the Chicago Bulls!" Like they're like when they got after that razor hot start, it's like, "Oh my God, the Bulls are good." And then like, you see
reality hits.
Like, well, they're about 500.
Yep.
Well, they're kind of a 500 basketball team. Again, the Chicago has always been confusing to me because like I just never know what direction they're going. Like, looking at this, apparently Patrick Williams played in this game. I would have to go back and check. But look, like the Bulls 15 turnovers. The Chicago Bulls 48 points in the paint.
Yeah, Patrick Williams played 4 minutes.
4 minutes. I mean,
0 for 1.
But look, it's like I said, it was great to have Giannis back. That was kind of the biggest thing. Miles Turner about 13 points, Kevin Porter Jr., KPJ, who had been playing well, he didn't have his best game here. Only about like 8 points. I think he was just trying to find like, all right, well, with Giannis being back, like, what's my offensive role going to be? I think he kind of ran into that a little bit. And Bobby Portis, this was, he's not usually the greatest player on the road, but he was able to drop in 17 points and 11 rebounds. So it was good to have BP back in the fold. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't much to glean from this game. I mean, obviously, all the theatrics happened after, which, by the way, was very, very funny because, like, the first thing is that I just always think that NBA players are really soft when it comes to sportsmanship and all the other jazz. And Giannis was saying, "Well, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to light a fire under this team because we stink." He didn't say that, but like, with so many words, he was like, "Look, we're 11th, and we're not going to stay. Like, if we're going to continue to be 11th, we're not going to the playoffs." Like, I was just trying to light a fire. Like, that was just kind of his whole point. And I know a lot of Bulls took issue with it, but he like this team, like he's like, "Look, I watched what this team was when I wasn't in the lineup. It's like we weren't good." So like me missing almost 3 weeks, it's like I got to do something to make sure that this team like has the sense of urgency that they're supposed to have.
Yeah, play to the buzzer goes off, and I feel like a lot of the comments people are posting under the videos of Giannis is like, "Hey, got to play till the buzzer goes off." So a lot of people backing it, and it's one of those things again. Who really cares at that point? You weren't down 40 points. You lost by then 9. No, it's who cares at that point. And again, Vucevic again.
Yeah,
just off response. I thought it was super funny because again, why would the Bucks trade him to Chicago, first of all? And second of all, why did he think that the Bulls were a main target for wanting to trade Giannis there? What do they have that could possibly make this Bucks team light years better? If he would be in the trade, there's no doubt he would be in that trade. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it was funny. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny because Chicago's not sitting and being like, "Oh my God, you know who we need? Giannis and Nikola Vucevic. That's perfect." Nobody's saying that. Like, there's nobody that's saying that, dude. They're trading half the team for Giannis. Yeah, and you're right. The Bulls don't have anything. I mean, Buzelis maybe, but like, is Giannis going to be teaming up with Matas Buzelis? Like, that's not.
Yeah.
Like, none of that's based in reality. So, like, yeah, the reason why Giannis probably didn't want to go to Chicago is because, like, y'all don't have nothing to offer me. Y'all team's trash.
Yeah, it would be
basically
literally.
Basically, what he's saying, it's like, look, you had DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine for years. You didn't do anything. You made one playoff appearance. So why would I go there?
Had Jimmy Butler, had Bobby Portis, had Murat. Yeah, they got a lot of guys, and they haven't done anything since the 90s. Oh, well, be what to do.
All right. Speaking of teams that really haven't done anything and that have been largely enough irrelevant, the Bucks beat the Hornets the other night. That game was, I believe, they're playing tonight, so they got it. So I'm gonna have to. I gotta find the final score to that game. Oh, okay, found it. 123 to 113. Mm-hmm. Again, this game was actually like a little closer. Their two stars went off, Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. That's basically the only two guys that can really score on this team. Miles Bridges only played 7 minutes. He had 3 points. He went out early. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they had some young talent. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Colin Sexton at 16. But really, outside of that, it was basically Brandon Miller and LaMelo. Giannis once again 24. Miles Turner, pretty good game actually, 23. Bobby Portis, though, this was the story of the game. Bobby Portis was red hot against the Hornets. So what did you see in Milwaukee's win against Charlotte?
Yeah, you kind of just mentioned it. Bobby Portis, obviously a super different game than we usually see from him. 25 points, but only 2 rebounds, which is always a little weird, but a lot of heavy rebounding from the starting lineup. Again, a little more spread out. Nothing really huge stuck out with rebounding because I feel like every shot I felt like was going in throughout this game. Big thing though is obviously the second quarter, a lot of just trading baskets, 40 to 38 in favor of the Hornets, just again something where it's not really like defensive thing is just more of every shot was going in, but really able to bounce back in the second half with a better third quarter, which I felt like really kind of pulled them away from the Hornets as well. Later going into the fourth quarter as well. But I think the biggest thing, kind of noteworthy, for the game itself, again, being able to be a little more consistent from the free throw line. I feel like it's been a little bit of a struggle. Not just one guy, but I feel like they're missing like 7 or 8 a game, only missing 3. And then my other thing was 9 steals. I felt like throughout different times, I feel like steals are always one of those like tedious things where it always comes at a bad time, and I feel like the Bucks were able to pull those off quite well, allowing it to 18 fast break points. So pretty much math-wise, if you got 9 steals, 18 points, it's pretty much you're scoring every time you get a steal, essentially. But no, great overall game. Again, the Hornets are another one of those teams where they seem to beat us more often than they should, or it's just a closer win like this one itself. But no, a lot better games from Kevin Porter Jr., Miles Turner as well, scoring-wise and three-point efficiency. And then I think biggest thing was Kevin Porter Jr. getting 11 assists as well. But otherwise, again, a pretty gritty game down to the last quarter, pulling away by 10. But, another good game. Again, bigger games from Bobby again, and Miles Turner as well. Just a lot more efficiency, I feel like, from them, and not shooting 9 of 20 or 7 of 18, something like that.
Well, so the thing with that is, like, dude, the Hornets now it's so opposite with the Hornets because as bad of a matchup as the Grizzlies are for the Bucks, the Hornets are the perfect matchup for the Bucks. Like, it always seems like the Hornets are like a perfect get right game for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's where Pat Connaughton scored like 50 points. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay, so like yeah, so like the Hornets are like the perfect little irrelevant franchise to where it's like, okay, Milwaukee, like this should be an easy win. Like, but it kind of depends though, because it's like, we'll talk about them in a second, but like, they lost to the Wizards the other night, so it is kind of like, all right, well, I don't really understand this team. I also think it has to do with like the guys that they have on their team, because I do think like LaMelo Ball is obviously like a shoot first guy, like, and that's why people have criticized being like, well, yeah, LaMelo's perfect for Charlotte, but he wouldn't be perfect anywhere else because you're not winning anything with them. And he's missed, like, he hasn't, like, he's had season-ending surgeries the past couple of years. So I think there's a lot of people wondering, it's like, all right, well, if LaMelo Ball goes to another team, it's like, what's their ceiling? Because he could score.
Yep.
But is he a winner? Like, can he be a part of a winning franchise? And the answer right now is no, not even close. Like Charles Lee, that's the perfect assistant for him because they know that the Hornets are rebuilding and they're going to try to build through the draft and all the other stuff. But again, LaMelo Ball is not. I just don't know if I see him as like a winning player.
Just more of a big name guy in a small market team, or not small market team, but just more of like a big name on just a garbage team. And if you're here to make all the money, there you go. That's the perfect spot for you. But again, yeah, you throw him on multiple other teams, he could be easily a second or third guy as well.
Yeah, I could see it, but maybe not like a first option.
No,
I think that's honestly Brandon Miller's team. To be honest with you, watching him, it's like Brandon Miller looks great on Charlotte.
Yeah, just again, no direction as well.
No. So, speaking of no direction
yep.
Speaking of no direction yet, they somehow beat the Bucks the other night. The Washington Wizards.
Yeah, 8 wins and 2 of them are against the Bucks.
I was thinking about this. Milwaukee, it always feels like, no matter how good they are, always has that one opponent to where, no matter how bad they are, just defeats Milwaukee. You remember, I was thinking back to like the 2018-2019 season where the Bucks were just rolling during the regular season.
Yep.
They lost to the Phoenix Suns like 4 times.
Yep, I was at one of those games.
could not knock off the Suns for some reason. Like this, I think they lost every matchup to the Suns, and it made no sense.
It's funny because I literally mentioned that night with my brother talking like, oh yeah, it's like when they couldn't beat the Suns that one year, and the Rockets when we lost a full team and they interim coach, and it's just there's always that one team that they just can't beat, and it's the worst team in the league.
Just it was so like because again Milwaukee, it's not like the Suns. It's not like not like the Wizards are playing good. It's just that the Bucks just did everything possible to lose that game.
Correct.
Like whether I'm pretty sure they got down double digits if I'm not mistaken, or maybe down like 9 or 10 or something like that. But they were down. Like they had a pretty decent lead. Like they had a good start, and then just the third and fourth, it was just having to claw your way back. It was extremely frustrating to watch. So what'd you see in Milwaukee's loss to what? What'd you see in Milwaukee's loss to Washington?
Again, like you said, it just back and forth. There was like really no part of the game where they just kind of took a big lead and kind of felt comfortable. Like their biggest lead was 9, the Wizards was 10. So again, just hovering double digits. But it's like Bucks had 8 steals. Bucks had 13 offensive rebounds. They 19 3-pointers, shooting 49% from 3, and it's like 41% from 3, and it's giving up basket after basket to some of these guys where it's like the Wizards are just one of those teams where it's like respectfully, I just don't know who some of these guys are. Like Bub Carrington, 24 minutes off the bench, averaging 9 points this year, and they 6 of 11 shooting from 3, gave him 20 points, and all of their starters except Chris Middleton, who didn't make a basket, were in double digits, and almost everyone but Will Riley played 12 minutes was almost in double digits, and it just felt like no matter what they do, they give it right back up. Go on a little bit of run, give the run back up, or have to pull back. And again, like at the end of the game, it's just like you're just not holding onto the ball correctly, and all of a sudden, fast break with one of the best shooters in the league, and there it is. And it ends so fast, and not being able to just pull away from some of these teams is so frustrating. And I really can't, outside of Giannis again, I lost my mouse. There it is. Outside of Giannis again, you got 13, 19, 16, 13 again, but like Gary Trent coming back 0 for 4 shooting. And my computer froze. Cool. Anyways, but no, just a lot of poor management. I feel like at the end of the game that kind of gave the Wizards kind of like that hunch to, I don't know, maybe we can come back from this, because they had a little bit of a lead near the end and they just kind of blew it. But no, just another frustrating loss in a row against the Wizards by less than 3 points again, or 3 points or less. The last one was 129, 126. This one lose by 1 point on a go-ahead basket with a few seconds left, but I don't know. Another stupid loss that just really irked me while watching that game, especially seeing them have to come back against the Wizards. But like, again, they're professional athletes. You never know, but seeing them practically have it, and then all of a sudden, nope, they lost in the span of like a minute or two.
Yeah, and again, the death of the Bucks was Trey Johnson, and then Bub Carrington, who actually came out in the fourth quarter hitting 3 threes, which was insane. I don't know. I just kind of look at it, and I'm just like, is Washington just a bad matchup for him? Because like they got Alex Sarr, who's like really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Miles Turner is theoretically supposed to be like, the guy to kind of disarm that, but he's really hasn't been for the most part. When I look at the stats here, 15 turnovers. I mean, they had 23 points off turnovers, 17 fast break points. Like that's a problem I have. Is like it's the turnovers, Evan. It's the turnovers that why Milwaukee gets into trouble. All right, like Like I'm not sitting here being like don't have double digit turnovers, but also not have Giannis do like a bulk of the work. All right, and sometimes it just feels like, sure, guys are scoring a double figures, but I mean that's pretty easy in an NBA game. I'm saying, but not have Giannis be like, all right, well I got to score like damn near 40 for us to win, like against the Wizards. Like everybody should be like, you have to beat the Wizards. This is your easiest. This is the easy part of your schedule. Okay, you have to win these games. All right, and Giannis was talking about that sense of urgency against the Chicago Bulls last week, and then you go out and number one, okay, like just the amount, just the lack of like kind of knowing what to do at the end of games, right? Because Kevin Porter Jr. has a layup at the basket, misses. Giannis goes up with it, gets blocked by Sarr.
Mm-hmm.
CJ McCollum, now granted, it was a tough shot. Like I take nothing away from AJ Green because that was a good contest, and that was a tough shot. But also, Giannis has to realize like time and score. He didn't have to shoot it.
Yep.
So, I'm not putting this loss on anybody, but I will say that the Doc Rivers excuse train after does not help. Where we had deserved to win that game, we didn't play hard enough. It was like, okay, but whose job is it for them to play hard in the first place? Like, that's your job. Like, I understand Doc Rivers can't go out and, like, get into a stance or whatever, but players, whether they play hard or not, like, that's your job. Like, making sure players execute late-game situations, that is your job. Like, that. Like a lot of that's on the players, but like a lot of that's on the coach. Okay. But and that's what I said about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers would literally, if the Bucks team was stranded in like the middle of the ocean, okay, and you had like and you had to, to survive, you had to maybe feed some people to sharks. I think Doc Rivers would throw the entire team out in the middle of the ocean. I truly think that. The amount of times that this man will literally throw his team underneath the bus and run over them with it is astounding. He doesn't take accountability. He never takes responsibility for his own late game failures. Okay, and I'm sick and tired of it. All right, I'm taking nothing away from him because look, he is the 6th all-time wins leader in the NBA history. I'm taking nothing away from him. Okay, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. All right, but he's going to be in the Hall of Fame just for the mere fact that, he's just been coaching a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wins enough to where it's like, oh, Doc Rivers, he can help. No. He's like 8 games over 500 as a Bucks coach. That's not good enough. Like, how is that better than what Mike Budenholzer was doing? But, again, for some reason, they like Doc Rivers. But I've said last week, if Giannis leaves, he's not going to be there. Because Doc Rivers is a coach you get when you want to contend for titles. The problem is like, he hasn't been close to a title since like 2008. Okay, a lot of things have changed since 2008. We're now in 2026. 18 years, almost 18 years to the day, Doc Rivers has won a championship. So that's what's frustrating with me. I'll rant about Doc Rivers until he loses his job, because there are younger coaches out there who can get more out of this team. And if they get rid of Giannis, there's probably going to be a younger coach who they probably need to hire to get the most out of this team. Because this could be an inviting organization to like for any coach, but I don't know what they would do from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, frustrating overall. And again, Doc Rivers is on my hit list of guys that I can't stand right now with the organization. It's just, again, like, it's also just like the lack of like player development and just like the structure of the team is just not very future heavy. And then you throw in a veteran coach who I just felt like was just not the fit. Even Adrian Griffin, I felt like wasn't the fit, especially seeing who else was out there. But at this point, it's just gonna have to be, and I really hope in the near future that they somehow butt him out, or after they're done paying Budenholzer or Griffin, that someone else can hop in. Again, we said last time, I Hope Rondo kind of gets that nudge, or at least like assistant coach, so he's not just sitting in the back behind the bench as well. But there's got to be other guys out there that they could have picked over him, or even right now that could step up a lot more too. But I don't know. It's just so frustrating because he's going off of that one win with arguably one of the best teams in the 21st century, and it's very Dave Roberts like. You're just kind of there and watch the other guys just steamroll everyone just because they're all future Hall of Famers.
Yep. All right. Quick announcement for the pod. We're going to decide to do things a little different. So, like, we're going to start splitting, like, probably between, like, 2 episodes. So, we're going to start, like, doing games separately from, like, the actual topics so that we can make it more digestible for you guys. And that's going to begin right now.